guys, and welcome to TRC Podcast main show number 4, or week 4 for that matter, because we do these once a week, right? Every Tuesday.
Yep, that's it.
At any rate, we record these on Mondays. They come out on Tuesdays. So, if we talk about stuff, just know that. All right, so I've got here with me Levi.
Hey!
And Anthony.
What's up, guys?
And we're just going to do a little recap of the week. A few other things. I imagine we have some new listeners since we had our
that was.
podcast.
Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. We know we did. We always like hanging out with Dan and Ivan, and it's makes it even more fun when we can do something fruitful out of that. So, we hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope we got more subscribers for that.
From the looks of it, we got a lot of new people.
Good. And if you like this, make sure you tell your friends. Keep liking and sharing this and
leave a review
join
on
it.
iTunes.
Yes,
if you got iTunes
please.
on your computer, your phone, or the podcast app or whatever, leave a review because that helps other people know, oh, this is something I want to listen to.
Yep.
But enough with the taking care of business. We'll just get right into the actual meat and potatoes of this.
Fun stuff.
Yeah,
So first things I just wanted to say, we've got we're going to have our first guest later this week. Probably not in this episode. We'll make a special episode for him, but we've got a detailer coming up from Oregon, a friend of ours, and he's going to come up just to want to hang out, spend some time in the rag company, and we open that up to any of you that are listening. If you feel like you want to come hang out with us and be on the podcast, make a trip to Idaho. Come up to Boise, and maybe we can get you on here, and you guys can hang out.
And, shoot the breeze.
Yeah,
Shoot the breeze. Yeah, I
We
like
can
that.
talk-
Self-editing.
we can talk towels. So, so we're really excited for that. So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, any of you guys that are out and about or traveling and decide to come visit us, hey, best thing, you get to check out the rag company, feel a bunch of towels, and be on the podcast.
That's the beauty of it. If you're camera shy, podcast doesn't care.
Exactly. So
It's like talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Just imagine talking on the phone to your mom or a family member and just hanging out, right?
yeah, that's the whole key to this.
So comfortable.
Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and
Long form. Yeah.
we can get some more people on here, which will be fun. You don't have to just hear the three of us.
That's true. Well, okay, so the first thing I've got in our notes here, because I keep notes now that we're going to keep ourselves a little more organized, less meandering. It is fun, but, bring yourself back to earth once in a while. We've got some new sales coming up here at theragcompany.com. So, Levi, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the sale?
Well, of course, Labor Day's coming up. So
That's what everybody wants.
yeah, so we are doing another large sale. This is 15% off store-wide. Everything in the store, 15% off, except wholesale cases. So,
Which, come on.
yeah.
Those are already discounted.
Those are
So
heavily discounted already.
This is going to start on Wednesday the 30th, which if you're listening to it is today.
Tomorrow.
Right, tomorrow
Today's
is
Tuesday.
Today's Monday,
but when you're listening to this, it's Tuesday.
This drops Tuesday. So for Wednesday the 30th, that sale starts and goes all week and into next week and finishes on Tuesday the 5th. So you guys get 15% off store-wide. That's 15% off all our pads, 15% off all the towels, all the mitts, 15% off Detailer's Helper belts, 15% off all Optimum products. It's everything we carry.
So if you're listening to main show number 5, just know you have less than 24 hours.
Yeah. If you're listening to main show number 5, you better place your order. But this is always a good sale because a lot of people always wonder, how do you get 15% off, and how do we get, we always run targeted sales usually depending on the products or certain things, certain towels. This last weekend we had a glass towel sale. But this one's 15% off store-wide. So everything is 15% off, which makes it fun. So it behooves you to purchase products.
And
for
even
Labor
though
Day.
you can't get wholesale cases, you can still get bundles. You can get
Yeah, you
all
can
that
get
other
bundles,
stuff.
kits, all of that stuff
15% off.
is all 15%
so that
off.
goes a long way.
Yeah. So
It really does.
and the bundles we discount heavily by buying them in bulk. The bundles, so you can get some towels at the bulk price plus 15% off of that, which
And
makes your cost
this is
per
considered
towel.
one of the bigger sales we do.
Yeah, it is.
too.
Yeah. We only do a couple of these a year when we do everything in the store.
We're gonna
usually
work on
we do
having
like a
more
memorial
small
and a labor,
sales,
but
as far as big stuff goes, store-wide,
Yeah.
yeah, this is one of the few.
yep. So,
So if you
good
wanna
way to end out summer. It's gotten hot again here this week, so
Oh, has it gotten?
it's supposed to be in the hundreds all week, which is fun when all the city pools close and everything
Yeah.
shuts down, and it's like, hold on, we're still
really think that through.
So hopefully, you know.
Oh, kids are
stay
back in
cool.
school now,
Yeah.
and yeah. Well, okay. So in addition to the new sales, we've also got some new products that we can talk about.
Yeah.
We've been told it's okay to bring them up because, hey, some people want to know what's going on. So,
Yeah, we've got some fun stuff. So Anthony and I have been working on a interior mitt for those of you that like our smitten glass and drying mittens. We created one more, and it's kind of a cross. It's going to be utilized for interiors, so to speak, but you can use it on paint. It'll still be paint friendly. And the two towels that we are incorporating into that is our Everest 800 on one side, and on the other side we're doing a 365. And this way you get all the benefits of the Everest and the 365. So if you want to use them on an interior to clean or dust your dash or wipe down your plastics, scrub your leather, any of that kind of stuff, you can still use that towel for those purposes. Or for those of you that maybe aren't a fan of the pluffle so much.
Let's be real. How many of those?
It really, I mean, you're kind of on your own there.
There's very few of you, yeah, but
Very few.
no, we chose those two towel materials, the Everest 800 and the 365 for the interior. Mainly for the fact that the 365 is just such a universal towel and has so many different applications, inside and out. It is thicker than obviously your 300 or your 245, and it can take a little bit more of a beating too. And I like that idea of it, especially when you're cleaning seats and you're cleaning panels and stuff like that. They get really gunked up. The 800 side on the Everest 800. We wanted a towel that had a little bit of a longer pile, but not too long, because if it starts to get too long, like let's just say the Eagle, for example, if it did lent at all whatsoever, those fibers would actually get caught on, let's just say, Alcantara or some type of other, cloth.
Yeah, some of those plastics are grabby.
And so exactly. And so they'll grab those, and we don't want those long fibers, let's be honest, but we still want something that's going to be long enough to be able to kind of dip into those cracks and crevices, kind of when, your plastic panels meet each other, if they're like, multiple panels, all put in one. So that 800 has just long enough fibers to kind of dig into those little cracks and pull out the dust or dirt that's inside them. And plus the 800 is just nice. Everybody loves the 800. It's just a stupid nice towel. And like Levi was saying, if you want to use this mitt on the exterior, you are more than welcome. I mean, it's that
It would probably
same.
make a killer polish removal towel.
Oh yeah,
anything like that. I mean, you could.
Yeah, I mean, you could. You could use it in coatings too.
The
as a
365,
final. I mean, you could use the 800 or the 365 side. It doesn't matter. So if you just need to, say you're spot checking or final walk around on a coating and you needed something, you could put one of those on and hit the little spots that you see as you
High
walk
spots.
around.
Yeah.
Touch up some spots, or if
Some
you've
people,
got
they get hung up on, well, it says it's an interior mitt. I can only use it on.
it's
like a towel. It's a mitt. You can use it wherever you like.
Yeah.
Just understand it's designed with a purpose in mind. Some things work better than others. That's the way it works.
And it's going to have the 70-30 Buttersoft suede edge, similar to the other two mitts.
Yeah.
So
I can't get enough of that stuff. Put it on everything.
and that's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are starting to move
'Cause
towards adding that.
So nice.
Yeah, so that one's going to be cool. And then a new towel that we're really, really excited about.
We're not going to get too much. I have to stop them from getting too much into it. We want to give them just enough, but it's going to be awesome.
We're just going to...
Oh, no, Jeff straight up says we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So,
then we're gonna talk
those
about
of you that love our Eagle Edgeless, but let's say you also love the Everest 1000 or 1100, maybe you want something in between that, because the Eagle is 480.
Well, in the Everest 800, while being a GSM that's in between, it's
The
very
fiber
different
is different.
towel.
The fiber
It's a
is
shorter
completely different.
nab,
Yeah.
even though it's high density. It's shorter.
So we increased the weight of our Eagle Edgeless.
By quite a bit.
Yeah, so
quite a
the
bit.
traditional is 480 GSM. This new material is 620 GSM.
Yeah.
And we're giving it a name called the Warhawk.
Yeah.
How
And
could
it's
you not like that?
Yeah. And so we have in that family, we have the Wizard, which is 380 GSM. We have the Eagle, which is 480 GSM. And then we'll have the Warhawk, which will be 620 GSM.
Big
and the Warhawk will come in charcoal gray and
Yes.
Everybody's been
wants it.
asking this. Everybody's been asking this, and now is the time. You are going to get your red towel. And
Yep.
yes, we said it, red.
Yep.
A red Warhawk. So the red and gray, the Warhawk twins, Warhawk brothers, whatever you want to say, but they look really good next to each other, and you can't just buy one color, you got to buy both because they look that good.
yeah, it's going to be sweet.
Badass. That's
And
the word for
and the fun part is the name. We just went to the Museum of Flight in Seattle, and we got to see some real. Got to look at it, and that's always been one of my favorite planes. Hence, if those of you that have followed my shop, it's Hawk's Detail. It's got a logo. We've called that the Warhawk logo. And we have a Warhawk museum here.
It's true.
So we may have to take some of those towels down there and take some pictures
Maybe
at the
for
Warhawk.
its debut, because you
Yeah.
guys won't see what it looks like yet, because you guys are actually the first people to hear about this.
Yeah.
So consider this a podcast exclusive.
I do have a prototype on my
Yeah.
desk, but
It's so cool.
Yeah, no, wait till you guys see this.
Oh, like battle machines, that's what this towel's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
So, but yeah, this is gonna be one of those towels that it's just gonna visually look good because everybody knows that the most popular colors in the detailing industry are black, red, gray, like kind of like those darker, more masculine colors, and it's always been kind of hard to get those colors for people. But this is just a
companies usually don't carry them because they're a pain to try and make because
the dyes
you always
and everything
end up
else,
bleeding or something goes wrong or whatever. No, but we really tested these.
We put them through the ringer, and when we got our samples of this, we were extremely excited that we created this awesome towel. So so that's one thing we're going to be looking forward to. You guys will hear more about that here in the next. It's still going to be a bit of ways. You're still looking at a couple
didn't want
months.
to get your hopes up before because it is still a ways out. But
And so
they are coming.
Yeah, they are coming, and we're probably not going to start building up the hype train for a little while longer on all the other social media platforms, just because when we tell people about something, they get really excited and they want it now. So we're sorry that we're talking about it right now, but we are really excited.
But that's the goal of this podcast, is to kind of give you guys an inside look into kind of the things that we're working on, things that we're doing.
Inside look into our life. Like, we don't want to hide things from you guys because you guys are listening to us. You're choosing to listen to just three guys talk. So
talk about microfiber towels.
How do you explain that to somebody that's asking you, hey, what are you into? Listening to dudes talk about towels really just, it's home.
No, so we're really excited about that towel. I'm excited, one, to have the name on there, and two, I'm excited for the color combination of it. Yes. I'm excited for the material and the fabric itself. The one that I have on my desk is pretty awesome. We're really excited about it. So just stay tuned. It will be here. We may have it. We will have it by SEMA, but we may be debuting it right before we roll out to SEMA. So you guys should be able to get it. And it'll be kind of a fun little towel to have.
But you heard it here first.
That's right. So
we'll be excited to make some videos about that. But speaking of videos, we also want to talk about kind of videos that we've seen recently out on YouTube and kind of around on social media, and kind of what we kind of pointed out as our favorites. So I guess I'll just go first since I'm already talking. But so I am a huge fan of Jim White and White Details.
Yep.
I absolutely love his videos.
They flow. They got this cool flow.
Like I get pumped every time I see one of his videos, and it's super cool to see a guy be able to put that much, production into a detailing video with, I think he's shooting with, 2 cameras total? Like, I think he's shooting with, like, a Hennen.
And he's working.
Yeah, he's shooting
working,
with, like,
and he's shooting, and he's doing it all by himself, if I'm not
Basically.
mistaken.
Yeah. He's using, I think, a G7X, which, looks awesome inside his detailing studio. I'd call it a studio because all the white walls, the lift that's built into the tiled floor, I look at it, I'm like, that's garage goals right there. Like, I'm over.
If I redid my shop again, that's what I would do. Is set it up just like Jim's because it's so pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Like Swiss Tracks
simple and easy.
is like cool, but not tiled floor, built-in jack cool. So
it's no surprise to see his stuff posted on Obsessed Garage and stuff a lot. Like that's the aesthetic.
But he's one of those guys that it really is about the details, and I really like that he takes the time to take video footage for those people that are a little OCD like me, or for those those detailing snipers of the world. They have a hard time pointing out his flaws and his things that he does because he knows that this is a very detailed area and I'm going to do this and do it right.
Yeah, well, he took the wheels off of one car and he was like, I'm going to clean. There was just like maybe 3 inches of the muffler exposed.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to clean all the tar and get all that tar off there. And detailer of 20 years, was like, yeah, but you're going to put the wheels back on and no one's going to notice. And all you're doing is an exterior correct. You're not doing a ton of, you're not doing a heavy, concourse level detail.
Yeah.
But it's the details of him getting that little spot. And, he sprayed some tar remover on it and didn't do much. He just cleaned and scrubbed that section. But
it makes a big difference.
Made a big difference. And even I, when watching the video, was like, okay, that's,
nerd out.
I never even would have thought.
It's a nice little sales tactic, too, to kind of like point at that and go, I did that.
Yeah,
I didn't have to.
He didn't have to.
But it didn't take.
I guarantee you, the customer would have never noticed that unless he pointed it out to him. Yeah. But it was a neat feature.
Yeah,
and if someone can take that kind of time, then they're really focused on what they need to be.
Yeah, that's what's also kind of great about the whole thing too. Is these cars he's doing, these are really expensive cars. These people have a lot of money, and typically what we notice in the detailing industry is the people that seem to have the money and they don't seem to be. I don't want to say they don't care as much because they still do care, but they expect somebody to do a good job. But the way Jim White does it, he goes above and beyond and does an extremely good job to where maybe those people may or may not notice. But what I really enjoy is the fact that I don't know if I enjoy it, but he takes off emblems and certain details. Like he'll take off a car emblem to polish under that emblem and put it right back perfectly where it was before.
You'll never know.
And like he masks it off and does it all in this way that's just so perfect to where you're like, wow, that just to get from behind an emblem, that's pretty impressive. And he'll take apart small little panels and small things to where he jumps right into it and feels so comfortable. And then he does paint chip correction too. Like, he'll put fill in your rock chips and stuff like that in a very perfect and pinpoint way to where he's not using Dr. Color Chip, but he's using actual paint and doing it like I'm talking like toothpick, like with a microscope, and it's really impressive. But he's somebody we've been watching a lot lately. Dane, anybody that's been catching your eye?
Lately I've been editing so much, I'll admit I haven't watched a ton of videos. The last one I can think of that really just caught me off guard and just how much involved there was everybody here probably watches Larry from time to time. So that whole restoration on his 964, 911, that is insane. Ripping the roof off, doing all that rust, correction, prevention, getting rid of it. All that, it's just insane.
Just goes to show if you love your car, if you love your car to a certain point, you love your car, and there's no, I guess maybe some people would consider that car done for with all the rust and stuff like that, but there is. He brought it back to life. They literally molded and welded new metal back onto the fenders, and as
a car enthusiast, that really not just going out and getting a new car, but like taking a car you love, and maybe it's not even the most desired one out of the bunch. It's an awesome one. I love 964s. They're hard to find in the lineup, and 993s too. But anyway, I digress. It's awesome just to see that.
I've seen it floating around. I haven't actually watched the video yet,
Levi,
so I can't explain that.
You would
so.
nerd out on
It's
it, but
nuts.
what videos have you seen? You've been watching Matt Mormon's new lineup
Well,
videos?
I have.
or?
I've watched a few of them. I have been watching Troy Sowers a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Troy's become a really good friend, and so I've been kind of watching the last few videos.
Troy's
He's been
killing,
You guys kinda
killing the
bonded on
game.
that.
We did. We had a
You
good
guys
time.
became little boyfriends.
Yeah, we text each other good night and things like that. So,
Your wife's like,
Yeah.
you texting? I'm texting Troy. Leave me
texted
alone.
Troy, like, leave me alone.
Gosh,
Just going to
leave me
bed. I
alone.
needed to tell him sweet dreams.
That's awesome.
But no, I've been watching that, and then we've got a new video out.
Yep.
So
Just out today.
Just
and
out today.
Holy cow! The level of response it's gotten. In
So far,
a
it's
short amount
quick.
of time.
Yeah.
People respond to that.
So we used foam out of a foam cannon, Optimum car wax and a foam. We made a mess.
It was time. We had to use the foam.
We made
aren't
a mess.
struggling to the point
Yeah.
to where we needed to use foam. We wanted to use foam.
We had a perfect candidate. One of our employees here, she, her husband and her live in a rural area, so she drives down a dirt road every day. But she did drive up to Yellow Pine. Her husband did, or something.
Yeah.
Or her husband works up in Yellow Pine during the day, which is a mountain town, and she was headed up there. And the construction, they were fixing the dirt road and they were laying magnesium chloride down, kind of one to help with the dust, but also to help set some of the gravel for the fire road.
Yellowy tinge.
Yeah, and so she was the first car in line to follow the magnesium chloride truck as it sprayed everything down. So her little new Jeep Patriot got the brunt of it, and so she keeps it pretty clean on the outside. She does use a car wash, but she's kept it fairly clean. It's just usually lightly dusty every day, but this was
unusually.
Yeah, it looked like she took it four-wheeling in some mud. It was sprayed up the sides and
caked on there.
Yeah, and so we thought, hey, this is the perfect car to use for a foam cannon video and our pressure washer and things like
video,
that. So.
We didn't know the magnesium chloride bit.
Yeah, we didn't know about that
the
till
video,
after.
So I actually edited in.
I saw that.
Notes
Yep.
on it so people understood, because when you're looking at it like, oh, why is the tire cleaner not working or whatever? It's like, well, it's because
it was
it's a
really
little unusual. So
it was yellowed.
yeah.
So, but
It came out great.
Yeah, we cleaned it up. She was happy with it. She was so excited. She felt really embarrassed because the interior was dirty.
Yeah.
So
it's all good.
yeah, but we told her, no, it's fine. And it just, usually when you clean the outside, it forces you to clean the inside. So
Yeah.
she was excited because she was going to go home and vacuum the car. So that's always a good thing. And the video turned out awesome. It looks fun. The foam was amazing. We used Optimum car wash soap in the foam cannon. I think I put about 2 ounces of foam and maybe 2 ounces of water in our foam cannon, and then just shook it up really good, and then to mix it. I found that if you put you put car wash soap in too thick and it's not properly diluted with water, it will clog. It gets so thick it clogs the foam cannons. So
what came out was awesome.
Yeah, so we had a good shaving cream lather foam that came out really nice. But yeah, you've got to make sure it's not just filling your thing up with soap and going.
But don't do that.
You want to check out your dilution. And with the car wash soap from Optimum, they have a half ounce per gallon dilution ratio anyway. So I just increased it just a little bit in that cannon, and it just came out looking awesome. So
It's knowing your cannon's limits.
well, and a lot of it's knowing, and a lot of it's knowing knowing how to mix it. Because, like I said, there's some soaps that are, people go, man, I thought this foam would be better. Well, they're not mixing their soap properly. Some need a little bit of soap and a lot of water. Some need a lot of soap and a little bit of water. It's just learning the soap itself, and also your pressure washer. Sometimes those lines get clogged, or you don't have enough pressure to push
It's
the
important
foam
to keep
out.
your
I mean,
equipment clean and
there's a lot of
maintained.
different things. So, but we had a good time. So it came out awesome, looked awesome.
Got some slow-mo.
Got some slow-mo shots, some fancy shots. And like I always say, foam for the honeys, O&R for the money. So.
Yeah. No, and we'll still stand by that. Like, because you guys watching the video, that really, the majority of the dirt and all the mud and everything, that's coming off with the pre-rinse from the pressure washer.
Pressure washer on there.
And then
85% of the stuff came off.
And at that point, O&R would be just as safe as anything else. So if not safer. So it really is for the show, and it does look good. I mean, we can't deny that we all liked watching that.
For the weekend warrior types, I totally get it. Like why you love foam and you can't give up your foam.
Yeah,
I understand it, but when it's a job and you got a lot of cars to go through and you want to make sure you still do a great job, but you just don't want to spend all the time it takes to deal with the foam, O&R just makes way more sense.
And while we're on the topic of our channel and videos, Dane, you want to take that over?
No, as far as what
new stuff,
new video stuff.
Well,
we got a number of new things. I got our notes here. I got them a little out of order, but that's okay. We actually got a new studio.
Yep.
Coming up. So
we're building another studio. So we've got our current detox set studio that you guys have all seen, enjoyed, but we are building another. So we have just taken delivery. They're currently building, starting to do demolition and build all that out. We just got another almost 10,000 square feet of space here in our complex.
And don't worry, that's not just studio. That's also like storage.
It's going to be storage.
All those towels.
Yeah, it's some extra offices. And for those of you that have been here or know about us or have visited us, it's literally across the parking lot. We're in the same complex, but we're just on the other side of the parking lot from us. So we joke because the building next to us is a basketball court. It's like a basketball indoor camp, basically. And part of the flooring in it is the old practice floor for the Boston Celtics. So we get to joke that the only thing separating our our warehouses is the original practice floor for the Boston Celtics. So
pretty cool.
That's cool. So, but we're building this new studio. And Dane, what's all the magic that's going to be going on in there?
Okay, so the big thing, the big headline, the deal with the studio is it's not just going to be more of the same. We got our cool studio down here with the set and the bars and all that. This new studio, it's going to be a cycle wall, a cyclorama, infinity wall, whatever you want to call it. Think like old Gap commercials, the white background, no shadows. That is what it's going to be.
Yep.
You can roll a whole car in there, though. So
we're going to be able to put a whole car in, shoot it from 360 degrees, I believe, all the way around it, and it's going to be a fully enclosed white room. Literally.
Pretty cool.
So we'll be able to photograph stuff in there. We'll be able to shoot videos. Possibly if we want to, but it may come out kind of funky.
It's mostly going to be photos.
But it's all photos, a lot of our products, vehicles, cars that we get in.
It opens up a lot of future potential for things.
Yeah, product, placement shots.
The studio setup we've got just doesn't quite make sense when you want to really have a cool, simple, clean backdrop. That's the way to do it.
Yep. So that'll be really neat. They just started building the dividing wall between our building and the basketball court.
Almost done now. They were doing it over the weekend.
Yeah, and then they're going to demo out a bunch of extra office space that's there.
I think we should film some of our the demoing of it. I think we should get some sledgehammers and we could
do that.
We should get a couple good hits on video just to show them.
That's a good idea. We should.
What we're doing.
Yeah. So we could. So we're gonna go over.
They're not doing it right. I'm looking across the parking lot and I see there are a bunch of guys in there. Hopefully we can catch them before they do that. But if we do, you'll see the video.
But so we can. So that'll be fun. We're excited about having that because we got more space because this company just keeps growing faster than we can think. So it's good, and it's all because of you guys that are listening and buying towels and following us on all our channels.
So we gotta have a place to put them before you.
Yeah. So we've got we're running out of space.
Trucks coming in. It's starting.
Well, we moved it. So guys, we moved into this building less than not even a year ago almost. And when we moved in, we thought there's no way we're going to use all this space.
The 5-year plan on this building. We're like, 5 years. Maybe we'll think about upgrading. By the time that's up. and this will be enough space. But now we're already picking up
Somebody
other
hit the fast forward button.
picking up other warehouses, and that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
so it's a good problem to have.
Thank you to you guys.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's we can't do it without you guys.
Than
And
the
with that,
microfiber.
we are.
We want to make it worth your while.
So Dane and Anthony's office downstairs is going to get. They're getting kicked out of their office.
We are.
I don't know
And-
exactly when that's happening, but yes, we're gonna get the boot.
But they're going to come up and hang out with me up here in the upstairs. They're going to get to be in the upstairs gang.
Ooh.
With the rest
that's
of
more exercises. That's how
Yeah.
I'm looking
I
at it.
laugh because I think our office is gonna get smaller.
yeah, but
That's okay,
But we've got to
Let's turn
yeah.
on the basement and take our
Yeah.
staplers.
Yeah.
My stapler.
Yeah, but we're building a new podcast studio up here. We've got we do this podcast in one of the spare offices at the moment, but we do have one office that doesn't share a wall with anybody, and Dane sat down with the owner of the rag company, i.e. his dad, and
Well, put it like that.
Very, yeah,
If anything, that should make negotiations tougher.
Yeah.
yeah,
Easier.
yeah.
So.
But no, to Jeff's point, he was really excited and was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it going." So,
Man, you guys latched onto this podcast so fast.
thanks to you guys.
Downloads
Yeah,
and stuff, subscriber count, it's all just
yeah.
blowing
So
up. There was an interest. We hadn't put it out there yet, but I think the people are finding it.
yes. So we're actually
cool.
we're gonna start building our little studio
This week. I think
yeah,
this week
we've
is
got-
where we're start getting things in.
We're soundproofing it and
Yep. Get those foam tiles.
adding
You
some
gotta
more
get
outlets or new outlets
in there,
and
outlets,
yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff to start putting up and carrying.
And actually, I
working
don't
down.
think I even told you guys this, but you remember we had a really good, powerful little iMac downstairs
Yeah.
computer.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually going to bring that up.
Might as
We'll
well.
use that
Yeah, very
in the
good
office
idea.
there. It'll be hooked up on Wi-Fi.
great.
We can actually do live streams.
Yeah,
from
we'll
it.
do that.
So-
So
Last
no,
week was
we're
podcast.
gonna make sure that we do it. We do it right, because that's the thing is, with a lot of things we do here at the Rag Company, we do like to make it to where it's visually appealing. That's kind of what we did with our studio for Detox. I mean, when people see that, they're in awe at how nice that is with the trusses and the flooring and our big cabinets and stuff. So we wanted to make our podcast studio something cool to see that we can definitely
Yep.
showcase. And when people do come in from out of town or we have guests, when we're in there filming, we could also, or I guess recording podcasts, we can also get some video footage and
Yeah.
and shoot the breeze.
And it's so crazy because we're saying all this, and we're a towel company.
Yeah,
we're a
microfiber towel.
Yeah.
And we're talking about podcast studios, video stuff. Like, we really care about giving you guys some quality entertainment, education,
Yep.
all that stuff. We want you guys to care about where you get your stuff from. We don't want it to just be some, faceless corporate whatever.
Well, and we feel like, we try and bring you guys in on this. It's something I always tried to foster in my shop I used to have a boss before I opened my own shop where he wouldn't tell us anything. He'd never tell us, what was going on. And
It
he'd,
already happened.
well, that or what he'd do is he'd pull a move where it's a Friday afternoon. We all get off work at 5 o'clock. And on that Friday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, everybody's hustling to finish their cars, get everything done. We're cleaning the shop. We're all getting ready. Everybody's working together. Everybody's doing awesome. And he gets that phone call. And it's a dealership 30 miles away that wants to get 3 more cars done and back before 5 o'clock. Now, mind you, it's almost 4 o'clock, and we got to drive 30 minutes to go pick up these cars. Now, as everyone's getting ready, they're calling their wives, everyone's already assuming that we're getting off early. Now, some of you can say, well, you should never assume that you're going to get off early from work. Well, this place that I worked at, we were all off by 5 o'clock every Friday. Like, there was never an issue. It was a once in a lifetime deal when everybody worked together and get excited to get off early. But we all worked till 5 or 5:30 every Friday. It was never a big deal. But he'd pull these people in. He'd pull these last few cars, and he's like, "Hey, we got to go get these cars." Well, what he didn't tell everybody was that he's going to send 3 of the guys home early, 3 of the hourly guys home. And the guys that are commissioned all have to stay to work and finish the cars. So
business owner.
so now,
I get it, but
so now the commission guys, because he sent the hourly guys home, the commission guys have to spend an extra hour delivering those vehicles, picking them up and delivering them, which they're technically not getting paid for. We were only paid to detail the cars, not pick up and deliver.
It's your job on the line if you don't.
Right, basically, he was that kind of a boss that he'd just basically fire you if you didn't want to do it. So that was frustrating, but it was one of those moves where he would always do that, randomly. I guess I can't say he would always do it, but he would randomly do it. But he'd never let anybody else know about it until he would grab you, you'd finish the car, you'd pulling out, and he'd pull up his car, and he's like, get in, let's go. And we're like, where are we going? We got to go Nampa and pick up. And we're like, wait, whoa, hold on a second. Like, we swept the floors, like, we put trash can, like, we're done. We're closing up the shop. And he's like, nope, we still got 3 more to go get. And he'd tell all of us. Well, it caused a bit of animosity amongst many of us whenever he would do that. And so we'd start pushing, like, you sure? We're done on a Friday. Like, this is it. And just let him know. So taking that into when I had my shop, is I always let my guys know of our daily plans every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'd let them know, I was like, these are our 5 cars we need to detail today. We have to get these 5 done. And if we don't, we've got to this is what has to be done. But I always made sure my guys were up to speed on everything. They loved it because once they knew what the goal was, we had that goal set, it was attainable.
It's easier to achieve a goal if you know what it is.
Yeah, and if you can write out every car and go, hey, here's what we're doing. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to bring you guys in with us so that you can, one, feel like you're a part of our group.
Because you are.
By talking about sales, towels, new products that are coming out, new stuff that's going on with us or what we're doing in our daily lives. Yep. We want to bring you guys in, one, because it creates that camaraderie. We all focus, we all become a team. Regardless if you guys are just listening to us on your headphones.
The people listening to this are probably working, right?
They're working on something, and hopefully that, you guys feel like we're offering something to you that is tangible and usable, and you guys can utilize it in your day-to-day routines.
Benefit from it.
Yeah. So we're excited with the studio to help you guys, the video studio, and or the new Cyclorama photo studio. It's all just to kind of help build our brand.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and on the building the brand front and all that, new videos on YouTube. That's another note I've got here, which includes something I think Anthony may want to talk about.
Oh yeah. So Wash Wednesday was on a little bit of a hiatus for a while, and
longer than we had planned.
Longer than we had planned. It was one of those things to where that's actually probably our favorite videos to make.
They're fun.
They're a lot of fun. And
you guys like them, which has been awesome.
And a lot of people just love them. I mean, they're our highest watched videos that we have on YouTube. I mean, they may not have the most views in comparison to some of our other videos, but as far as watch time, people usually stick around for close to the whole thing, which is impressive because they're about 30 minutes long. I mean, they are an actual.
They are our longest video.
It's like a series. It's kind of like your weekly show, or was a weekly show. But the problem is that they were just the editing time that went into those. Dane would edit those,
guys.
and it was becoming such. It took so long to edit them, and I watched, and I wish I could do something, but kind of how it works on our editing front is that we each kind of handle our own videos. Like we do our own separate videos, and we don't necessarily work on the same one together. So
too many cooks in the kitchen. It's nothing personal with that stuff. It's just about, I feel like you can be more efficient by splitting up duties and focusing on one project at a time rather than trying to divert attention all over the place.
Exactly. And with the last couple of months, with us how much we've been traveling and filming everything else. I mean, like we've said before, we have probably 70 detox in the backlog that we need to go through as well. So we didn't have a whole lot of time for Wash Wednesdays. But the good news is, though, is that we are filming our next Wash Wednesday next Monday. We do have one Wash Wednesday that is in the backlog right now. It did not go as we had planned. It's
a cool video.
It's about 80% done. The other 20% moved to Wisconsin. So
I strongly consider releasing it anyway, and I would hate to disappoint people that the driving section is virtually non-existent.
We did yes, it was a turbocharged. It was an LS swapped Volvo, a boosted LS swapped Volvo
station wagon,
and so that was lifted
on 31s.
Yeah, not a new one. It was like a 91 or 92.
Dude, that was one of the square body Volvo
wagons. It was like a Frankenstein build that was like sketchy fast. It was like 600 horsepower, and that's when people are like, how fast is it? I say it was sketchy fast. Like it was
making over 500 at the wheel.
At the wheel, so it was making 600 to the crank. He was saying. So we filmed this entire Wash Wednesday and had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it was a really fun episode to film, but we ran out of daylight, which was one unfortunate thing. But we continued to film, only to find that after about an hour worth of filming in-car footage, that the audio wasn't on. So, and I'm going to go ahead and take responsibility for that because I had a microphone that I forgot needed to be switched on.
It's a powered mic, and so it's easy to forget if you're not used to dealing
I just
with
didn't even think about it. It was such good footage, but we ended up losing that and needing to reschedule. But a week after we filmed it, the guy's car had issues. He blew. He had a hole in his radiator. 2 weeks after that, there was another issue with it, and then a week later, he packed up and moved to Wisconsin. So
when you Frankenstein a car, things can happen.
Yeah, so
it's understandable.
So he's gone now, and I'm not sure if we're ever going to be able to film that video, film the rest of it. So I think we might.
But the watch portion of the video is so good. I strongly consider releasing.
I think we might just.
I think it's because it's such a funky looking car. I think it's such a great.
I think we'll release, because we still had a couple of videos of it doing a pool, so we did have a couple things, not everything what we wanted, but we might still release that. But the next video we're going to be filming is going to be on Labor Day for Wash Wednesday, and that's going to be I think it's a 2011 Raptor that's had a lot of cool stuff done to it, and the owner, she's really, really cool. She's a total truck nut, but you would never even think so by looking at her. So we're excited to film that. That'll probably be the next Wash Wednesday, and hopefully just kind of get those back into the routine of things at least once a month. That's kind of what we're shooting for, is we can get one of those out a month.
We just got to be more realistic about it.
Yeah, that would be just the amount of editing time, and that's what, that way it's 30 minutes. So I mean, you can watch 5 minutes, come back later.
Your money's worth, all $0.
Yeah, it's free. It's a free episode. So it'll be pretty fun. But
they are.
Other than that, though, I mean, kind of moving on in our conversation.
Yeah.
So video titles and descriptions, we were kind of talking about that lately as being a big point in making YouTube videos, and I guess one question is whether to create clickbait content or not create clickbait content. We are often plagued by this a lot because of the market that is YouTube today. 10 years ago, clickbait was like it was one of those things where it was like, why would you make a title with that's essentially lying,
that's not
right?
True.
That's not true.
Well, it's technically true. There's like 1 second of this thing that I put in the title, but
basically, you're seeing videos like you see like a car detailing video with like the description or maybe like the thumbnail in big caps lock saying he died. I'm like, who is dying in a car detailing video?
One of our TikToks. Why do we do that?
Why are people dying in car detailing when they don't actually die, or things of that nature? And it's kind of, I don't know, me and Dane can kind of, we're both frustrated with this because we're trying not to go to that side.
I like to be a positive person and all that stuff, but underneath it all, I can be a real cynic. It's kind of a way to go through life and not be surprised by too much, but at the same time, when it comes to clickbait and stuff like that, it's just the challenge of finding a way to accurately convey what it is you're going to be presenting to people, but at the same time understanding that you want the most people possible to see the content you've made. Otherwise, all that work and energy you put into it can be a bummer when you spend a lot of time putting something out there and just there's little to no response. And yeah, I mean that's really the basis of it. But at the same time, I always feel it's important to be transparent, clear, honest with people. I mean, that's the way I would absolutely run a business, you know, if it were my job to say. So I consider our YouTube channel to be my business and Anthony's business.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
We take a lot of pride in it. And it's like, it's one of those things to where we don't want to put a video out that we wouldn't feel comfortable showing our parents, like Dane's parents, the owners of the bag company. Like, you know, we don't want to put out a video that we'd feel uncomfortable showing them, or something that we wouldn't want on our own personal YouTube channel, because, you know, in today's world, it's still, I mean, it's been sex sells, and you know, there's some detailing companies that, you know, happily make use of that.
Their foam cannon videos involve girls getting sprayed with foam, where ours is a Jeep.
Girls.
Yeah,
okay.
We're not going to talk about who they are. They're still cool people, but
exactly.
They take a different approach than what we can necessarily take as being a microfiber company. So we try to be transparent, but it's just it's kind of like, I don't know, I want to say concerning, but it's like, when you see a video that we put so much time into, and we've tried to creatively make like a really cool thumbnail that looks like a clickable thing, in comparison, you see the next video down of like a chick, you know, half naked, holding up a phone cannon, covering certain parts of her body. You're like, how can we even compete with that as a first click in a market?
I got a bikini
in a market that's I think the market on our channel is 95% male, 5% female on our analytics, and so
that's detailed.
Yeah, we obviously know where people are clicking, but. I don't know. That's kind of one thing we've been talking about. I mean, we could talk about this all day, but we won't bore you guys until we get bothered by something again.
But it's the kind of thing to just, you know, think about and be aware of, and try and find ways to creatively still appeal to people without, you know, sinking to the certain level that you don't want to.
It's not rising to that level, it's sinking to that level. And so yeah, we made a foam video, and no, Levi didn't get covered in the foam. We wanted him to, but
I made sure there was slow motion foam.
But there was
that.
So
yes.
But no, I guess moving on. Levi, have you gotten any weird customer requests lately? I know that was something we were talking about earlier. Any strange phone calls?
Even like YouTube comments, any stuff like that?
Nothing like that yet. I have seen a lot of the funny ones. I do get customers. To those of you that do write in and write me and ask me questions, the trending theme is a lot of people write their questions, but the answer to their question is written in that question. It's like they just answered it as soon as they typed it out and hit send. Like, it basically answered it.
Some people get into some pretty heavy analysis.
Yeah, and so I feel bad when I write you back and I just write, you just answered your own question. Like, you just answered the question right there.
Yeah.
Because they want you to talk.
I don't want to feel like I'm.
Well, they
like, I don't want to
into the rabbit hole. Is what they do, and
I don't want you got to keep it simple, and you want to keep it easy. And there's too many of us that get into this. I got to dive deeper. I got to get down, and
but as detailers, it can be tempting to get really sucked in.
And it's because as a detailer, we fall into paint. Like, you just fall in, and you know, you go into these layers, and you can. I say that when I'm buffing, I can see through the pad into the paint. And some of you that have detailed as long as I have, you probably see that and can experience that
you get into
same feeling. Yeah, you just get into this mode where you're, I mean, so I think you get that. There's a lot of guys that get that way just when you start talking topics of different products. They can start hyper focusing.
Products which you're right is a huge thing, because you start polishing, and you can have a system that you've been using, let's just say for years, and it's been your system that works and corrects paint and does an awesome job. But then you start, you know, maybe you overhear a conversation of somebody talking about that compound and saying, oh, I heard that compound has this filler in it, or I heard this compound uses this type of abrasive instead of this one, and then you start thinking, well, have I been doing it wrong this entire time? These last 2 years, should I be switching to something else? It's like, why would you switch? You've been doing an awesome job, and you've been knocking out paint with this
your
process.
Customers and or friends and family all appreciate the work you're doing. I mean, that's ultimately is the customer happy.
Yeah. Well, and it's just getting too deep into certain subjects, and so when everybody writes me, I try to make it as simple and as plain and as easy as possible. We joke that your dad writes novels. back
He does.
when he writes his emails.
He really does. If you ever get an email from him,
He works very hard at that, and they're very detailed and great. But I always try to keep my emails very curt and short.
Yep.
And
it's not rudeness.
And it's not rude. I'm just trying to make it simple and easy because that's how my brain works.
It's like your O&R brain. You're trying to be the most efficient
I need it to look and go like, okay, I do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and I'm done. Okay. And
most people appreciate
it. And instead of step 1 and then the theory behind that, and then step 2 and then the theory behind that.
I'm guilty.
Now, if there's a question, if there's an email or a response or a comment to somebody that it's going to get lost in translation because it's so difficult to explain, that's usually when I'll message them on Facebook and send them my cell phone or just say call me because I can't.
Yeah, I can't write all this.
I can't write all
more time.
And you're going to get lost, and I'm going to get lost writing it. So here's my number. Give me a call. And that's usually the easiest way. Plus, you don't want people to mistake your words.
No. It's so easy to read tone into things where there isn't any.
Right, exactly. So for those of you, like I said, that have written me these questions and maybe gotten a short response, the reason is because that's the answer to your question. I'm not trying
because he cares and he wants to give you.
I just want to make it easy on you.
Yeah.
As to any weird topics, we haven't gotten any of those. I got that one today on Reddit. I didn't see that question. Okay, so maybe I talked with it about you about a snow tool. Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay. So we did have a customer reach out and ask about a snow removal tool made of microfiber. Because it's a common thing where it makes sense. People wrap a towel. Yeah. So those of you that don't have snow. You basically tune out right now. Yeah, you don't have to worry about this.
This was in Southern California. Yeah, this isn't for you.
So for us that do get snow, a snow broom is handy. It's not just an ice scraper; it's a giant broom. Now, you have to broom the snow off your car. One, it's a safety reason. You can't drive around with that much snow on your roof because
stuff falls off the back
when it flies.
People driving behind it?
Yeah, it can shatter a windshield. It can do all kinds of stuff, especially if it freezes the night before. And it turns to ice. Yeah. So here in Idaho and in many states, there is a law you have to broom a good portion of the snow off all your windows and your roof and hood.
Now, granted, a lot of people don't.
They don't ask that you do it on your, they don't request the trunk usually, but it's usually all top surfaces of windows have to be free and clean. Now, if you think of the traditional broom that everyone sweeps their floor with, that's what 90% of the time it's that nylon bristle.
And they're all cringing right now.
And people they brush the surface of their car. Now,
it's the people that shovel the surface of their car.
I have
seen that
so many times.
And I have seen that too. I actually had a customer last winter buy a car from the dealership, and they took it up camping the first week. Well, they didn't go camping. They went up skiing up at one of the resorts. And the car got dumped on. They shoveled the snow off of it. Literally, she shoveled the snow.
Also shovels.
They all have a metal edge.
It's a metal.
They put a blade on it so it can cut ice.
Yeah, she took that snow shovel and just slid it across the car. And got it all off. Then they came back down.
Anthony's face right now.
And it was a black Jeep Grand Cherokee. They brought it back down to Boise, and there were scratches all over the hood, the windshield, and the roof. God. And then they came back to the dealership, and they said, "What are all these scratches here from?" Yeah. And we were like, "What are you talking about? Those are..." And so the dealership sent it to us and had us fix it. We ended up repainting the hood, and we buffed the roof for them. The dealership paid for it, paid for the detail, but they had to pay for the paint on the hood. And so we repainted the hood for them, but they paid for that. So there's other types. There's that nylon bristle brush, and then there's a new type that's like a foam. And at my shop, even we had snow brooms that a lot of dealership lots have. It's just a piece of styrofoam, basically, heavy foam to push snow off of. Now that causes friction anyway. And anything that you do when you wipe that snow off, it's going to cause friction. So
any contact causes friction. Yeah.
Well, and imagine that most people, detailers, this, people don't, when they call, they're like, let's just do an interior because it's winter. I'm not going to wash my car all winter.
Yeah.
So all the dirt, all the soot, all the magnesium chloride on the road, all the
waiting
salt,
underneath all the
all the
snow
sand,
and-
all the stuff on the road, it sits on your car's paint, and then the snow sits on top of all that grit. So you're going to scratch your car regardless of whatever product you use to wipe the snow off.
Unless you literally just came out of washing.
Unless
your
you're
car.
pressure washing it off with a pressure washer, and not everybody has a hot water pressure washer to spray the car off with, and
you've been
you don't
trying
want
with
to when it's that cold because you're going to break your windows.
Pressure washer, that's gonna.
Yeah, you can make some
Nobody wants to be
ice.
getting their hands wet in any bit of coal. I mean,
Yeah.
like, that's not an ideal situation.
So we did have a gentleman that asked about us making a sock to go over, say, a foam broom to utilize to prevent any scratches or marring. It's a great idea. It's a cool idea, but it's not a very feasible idea because the result is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
You're still causing friction on the surface, whether or not it's foam or it's a towel. You're still going to cause friction because of the contaminants that are trapped between the paint layer and the snow itself. So it doesn't matter what you use. Now, the foam is going to be less intrusive than the broom,
Yeah.
but if there's a piece of dirt on there, either one of those is going to touch that surface. That dirt's going to get pushed along and dragged along. It's not lifting anything off the surface.
No, like in my experience, you know, because you guys know I'm OCD. Like I guess the way I've always done it is if I absolutely had to get some of the snow off my car, I would essentially like shave. I'd leave the slightest layer of snow on the surface of the paint, but kind of shave up an inch above that. And basically, once I do that, once I start driving, you know, the wind would usually blow off the rest of the hopefully fresh powder if my car was stuck outside. But the idea is not to get down to the paint with any item, whether it's a broom or whether it's a brush or whatever it may be, but just to get to right above that surface of maybe, you know, that third of an inch, you know, above your paint, and then call it good right there, and then just let the natural, let it naturally melt away or blow away in the wind. That's kind of what I've always done. You know, if I heat up my car,
You warm it up.
That usually will melt off, you know, the rest of that layer.
Now, we're not talking about a lot of snow. Like, I mean,
it doesn't have
you
to
can,
be a lot.
yeah. I mean, you can drive. You just clean your glass off and go if you've only got 1 or 2 inches of snow on the surface. But
we're talking
this
about
winter,
when-
we got 18 inches on the ground for 2 weeks straight, frozen.
Every time you thought we were done, more came.
Yeah, and it just you know 6 inches would melt to that 18, and then all of a sudden 6 more inches would come that night.
Honestly, in those cases, what I did, I went to like a coin-op wash and used the pressure washer there, just to get rid of the stuff after, like Anthony's saying. Yeah, don't touch the paint, but getting the biggest chunks off the top, if you can help that, fine. You might move it around on the surface still, because sometimes it's connected, it's all frozen together.
Sometimes, and you can't help that, and that's what I'm saying. If it's fresh powder, then you can easily kind of shave it, you know, and get most of it off. But if it's completely frozen and stuck to it, then you might have to get a little creative. But what I will say though is, the best thing you can do is before winter hits, always put a layer of sealant or a wax onto your car.
Or get your car coated.
Or get your car coated. Get it PPF'd. You know, like there's a lot of different ways to avoid damage. But I will say
the most basic and easiest is to just get a coat of wax on for winter, and one to protect you from all the salts and de-icers that are on the road for winter. It's going to protect the surface while you're maybe not washing it, because there are people that do that. And in that case, I recommend a polymer sealant because it's got a longer lifespan than, say, your typical carnauba wax, because paste wax is basically going to last you about 3 months if you're lucky, 6 weeks to 3 months, depending on the paste wax. And unless you're continually reapplying it, you're not going to get that bonding level that you're going to get out of a polymer sealant or something like a coating.
And wax is often seen as being kind of for looks too. So if you get something else in the winter, are you really caring about looks as much or about protection?
It's just do anything than nothing. That's basically what it comes down to.
More than nothing.
If you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, I don't want to go through the trouble of buying a polymer sealant, just to do it for winter, well then don't. Just use whatever you got lying around. I mean, use cleaner wax if you need to. Use anything just to make sure that there is some type of protection on the car, because I mean last winter I didn't use a polymer sealant. I probably should have, but I used Meguiar's 21 for example, and it lasted 3 months all the way through the winter, because by the first rain of spring my hood was still beating, my roof was still beating, and I was like, no way,
that's pretty good.
This is pretty good from the beating that everybody got over the winter time. So just saying, put something on rather than nothing.
Yep.
Long story short.
Yeah.
So we've got, so that was just a funny topic we started talking about it before we recorded, and we got a little deep on it earlier, but it was, it's just something to think. A lot of people don't seem to think about that issue when they go into it. But there's reasons for it. Same thing like getting an interior detail done before flu season hits. Clean your car, guys. Clean your steering wheel. Clean all your touch points, so your shifters, your knobs. Clean and disinfect all that stuff so that it's ready to go. Clean your kids' car seats out. Those all have liners. Most people don't think about them.
Goodies in there.
Your little kids touch everything, and there's moms that are always wiping. Moms that are always wiping hand sanitizer on their kids after they leave a playground, but they get them in the car, and the kids touch every surface of the car without any of that. So it's good there's a reason that we detail cars, and it keeps the value up, but two, it's got safety and health and safety behind it. I can't tell you how many cars I've had to detail where it's infuriating.
Because it was preventable. And two, I feel bad for the customers that would show up. It'd be the wife, and she'd have 4 or 5 kids that she'd be pulling out of the car seats, and the car was disgusting. And I look at it and go, you know what? I bet if I went to her house, she'd make me take my shoes off. There'd be hand sanitizer, because she carried herself like that. Okay. But you got in the car, and it was, let's say it's a really nice car, say like something simple like a Acura MDX, like a nice SUV, or like a Denali or an Escalade or something. You get in, and the back half, it's like a garbage can. It stinks. It's sticky. It smells. You're going through and you find a banana peel.
There's rotting food and fruit and things like that. I mean, it's just you. People need to understand what they're putting their kids into. They're asking their children to sit in filth for their drive. Now, I get a little mad because I look at it as a father's responsibility,
you're looking at it from a parent's perspective,
husband's responsibility. I don't want my wife driving around in that. I don't want my kids sitting in that. And so I wash my car every week. I vacuum my car every couple weeks. I try to make sure that there's no apples. That there's, I know my kids are going to carry apples in the car and snacks. I know my wife's going to give them snacks because it just makes life easier. She's going to feed the kids something while they're driving, or, it's just not worth the fight with the kids. I'm all for that. But I look at it as my responsibility to make sure that I'm going to be the one to clean up and try and take care of the health and safety of my children so that we don't have that issue. Because I've seen the worst case scenarios. I've seen that. And I look at it and want to go, husbands, are your arms broken? Can you not run a vacuum cleaner? Can you not grab garbage out of your wife's car?
A little vacuum solves so many
problems.
problems.
Spend an hour and go buy a $30 vacuum at Home Depot and just vacuum out the car and get all the trash out and take a bucket of O&R, for Christ's sake. It's not
or a shark or something,
Yeah, get something and just wipe down the surfaces. Clean the surfaces. How many times have you sneezed on a steering wheel when you're driving?
Too many times.
Just clean it off. That's all you got to do. Wipe it down. Give it a quick.
When I have something like that happen,
so
I
easy.
always you're eating French fries in your car. Maybe some people don't eat in their cars at all, but I do.
I eat in my cars.
Drop some stuff. I get it then and there. I don't wait till later to go clean it up. I just know, I don't want to forget about it. I know where it is right now, so I'm going to deal with it now.
Well, and to help my wife,
Proactive.
I said there's a little trash can in our garage.
That's smart.
A little tiny little small 5-quart wastebasket, little like office wastebasket, sits right by the door. So when she gets out of her car, if she's got any garbage, she can just throw it in that door into that So as she's getting out, it made it a lot easier. She likes it because she can literally, if she's got an empty soda can, if she's got wrapper or something, she can just throw it in there.
Because it's easy.
And I showed it to my kids, and I'm teaching them.
It's easy to forget stuff like that, but if you make it like a procedural thing where it just becomes habit, that's awesome.
Especially when it's one or two things.
Solve the problem. Yeah, it's really simple, really basic.
know.
Guys, take note.
So, sorry to run a little long, but that's little ideas and things that you guys can add to your...
Yeah, well, and we're sitting
repertoire.
at an hour and 4 minutes right now, so we can add to this.
we're
or
not
we can
bad,
cut it off
so-
right now. I mean, I think people have been loving the longer shows.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, just, that's one thing to talk to your customers about. Winter preparations. You can do a winter car prep package in which you work on the exterior. You can even, just wipe down the interior plastics and clean them up and make sure they're ready to go, and just
And being aware
disinfect,
of like the major touch points where like, okay, dirty snowy boots are going on these, floor mats, maybe get the all-weather mats instead of the carpeted mats,
I'll give a shout out. I'm not getting paid for this, but WeatherTech, I will go ahead and give a shout out to them because they save detailers' lives right there. So
they're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
They are good.
But they are a worthy investment, especially if you get ones that are obviously meant like properly fitted for your car. They do have like the universal ones that you can cut to fit, which are still good. But if you can get the ones that completely make like a bucket within your
those are the nicer ones.
within your your footwells and stuff, those keep everything in. And even if you just have them for the winter time and pull them out, they're like a saving grace.
Yeah. Well, in my old minivan, I had 10 WeatherTech mats in my van in various areas, and my wife laughed at me. And when we brought it home, she goes, "What are all those mats for?" And I said, "You'll see." And I laid them all out on the floors. And like probably the second week, my wife handed a little kid's lemonade from Chick-fil-A to my daughter, and she was drinking it and then just dropped it, and it opened up and spilled maybe 12 ounces of lemonade all over the back, and my wife was like, "Oh no!" But the mat captured all of it and held all of it. And then another thing, my wife was taking a meal to some friends who had just had a baby, and she turned the corner a little too sharp, and some of it spilled out of the bowl and onto the floor. And she came back and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I spilled some of the food on the mat. What do I do?" And I just pulled the mat out, rinsed it off with the hose, dried it off, and put it back on the floor.
Now what?
And she was like, "Okay, I'm sold. These mats need to be in every vehicle."
And there is a difference because you buy like cheap mats. You're going to be replacing.
Well, they bunch up. They slide up under your gas pedal.
Stuff. They don't. Well, for one big thing, they don't tend to actually act like a bowl and keep everything in it.
No.
Stuff just kind of like finds its way over the edge.
Right.
So, yeah. No, it makes a difference. Find some quality ones that are meant for your car.
Or figure out a way to start selling them to your customers too.
Yeah.
Add them into a package.
Yeah.
There are companies out there where you can sign up to be a distributor, and it was something I looked into, and I found a company that was willing to do it, but we
Depends
just
on where you're located.
never went with it. But there are guys that do that, and they do all right, and customers do appreciate that kind of thing.
Because there will be customers that come along who,
Especially in a winter package, it's easy to increase it, clean the carpets, and then throw those mats down, and maybe surprise your customer in the event. So they may be, "Wow, hey, thanks."
That's one less detail they have to get because it's something they can do.
Yep. So all good stuff. Easy to help your customer and make a little money for yourself by providing talk about flu season, talk about cleaning the interior, talk about sealing up the exterior, getting it ready for winter. There's like tire shops do it.
Yeah.
They tell you to come in, get your tires, get your snow tires put on, and
That's
get your battery.
hazard when you don't.
Get your battery checked and get new wiper blades put on. Make sure you got a de-icer, washer fluid.
They're other marketing.
Other companies do that, so why can't you do that with detailing when you're providing the same services, same level of protection services?
And it's absolutely 100% genuine stuff. I mean, these are real issues. This isn't something you're just making up on the spot.
Yeah.
This is real, actual issues that people confront, and they don't think about it. So if you bring it up, you're going to be the one they look back and think, I'm so glad that guy said something.
Yep. And the whole goal is to get those customers to trust you and think of you first whenever something new, or you want them to see you as their
A valued resource.
for their vehicle. So, you want them to call you when they need a body shop recommendation. They want you to call them for them to call you when they need tires. I'm not saying you're going to put them on. I'm saying they want to know who the best tire guy is in town. They want to know who the best tint guy in town is. They want to know who the best, mechanic in town is. They want to know all these things, and you want them to call you because you want them to think of you first.
And those people that you send them to will probably appreciate it, especially if they knew it was you who sent them along.
And especially if you're doing business with those people anyway already.
Making contacts, networking with people like that could be really beneficial.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, make sure they're stand-up people, good people, of course, but it's really beneficial all the way around.
Yep.
So
helps all of them. So.
All right, guys. Well, I think that about does it for main show number 4. So, as always, Levi, tell them where they can go if they want to, buy some stuff.
You go to theragcompany.com. Remember, guys, we got the 15% off sale going this whole next week. So, starting Wednesday, the 30th, all the way till Tuesday, September 5th, you can get 15% off everything in the store. Detailers, helper belts, Lake Country pads, Optimum products, and of course, Rag Company towels.
So theragcompany.com for all that.
Yep.
And then, as far as social media goes, Anthony, where can people find us online?
So you can find us at The Rag Company, Instagram. Just type in The Rag Company. You'll find us there. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. And on Facebook, we have so many different subcategories on Facebook, whether it's Detox, Wash Wednesday. You can join the Facebook,
podcast.
I actually
group.
just made that group, so we've got about 300 people or so.
Yeah, so go on there and like it. Thank you to all my friends that got on there and started liking it for us.
So please join.
So there's there, and then of course our YouTube channel is our biggest
our baby.
Our baby. So the thing we like to promote the most.
Please subscribe. We are going to be doing some giveaways in the near future, and you need to be subscribed to it so you know what's going on.
Yep, we definitely plan on doing it. Right now we're about to hit 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. Once we hit 10,000, which I don't know if it'll be next 2 months, next 3 months, this year, but
Tomorrow.
Once we hit 10,000, we're gonna do a huge giveaway, and we're gonna make sure that it's gonna be worth being a part of.
It'll be worth it.
Yep.
And so one last note about that Facebook group, the podcast group on Facebook. It's just the Rag Company Podcast on Facebook, and it's a page. It's actually not a group, it's a page, so it's kind of like the Rag Company page. What I wanted to get at, though, was that you guys can ask us questions on there.
Yep.
Go ahead and write on it, and we look at that stuff. So if there's
send us a comment, send us a message,
to talk about on a future episode, shoot us a message. Our personal accounts are on there. You can reach us that way. However you want to do it, but we absolutely love it when people reach out. So with that said, I think that does it for main show number 4, TRC Podcast. Till the next one, take care.
See ya.